Whoa, what is up, No Win Mafia, FT Nation, FTPL family? Welcome.
Yes,
No,
sir.
no Indices podcast with your host, Coach Tut, co-host, Coach Eric Jones, aka Motherfucker Jones.
Oh, he said it.
Here,
Sorry, Linda.
he's got an alter ego. He's got two sides to him that you have to earn to see the second side. That's why I love him. That's why I
I
say
like
he's
it.
my ride
I
or
like
die, baby. I hop on me, Rick. We go way back now. At this point, we've been through some shit. We've been through a lot of stuff together, made us stronger. But I've got the opportunity to see on both sides, see you be super professional, lead a group of 70 Division I football players, seen you take down 40 beers in a night, right? So we've seen it all, right? Balance. That's what it's all about, balance and happiness. But happy to get on here and talk about some good shit tonight, man.
Yeah, this would be fun. I think we always have had engaging conversations, at least in our opinion, with each other, just shooting the shit on the couch. It'd be cool to kind of put it out there. And, we say this all the time, but just, we're not experts in anything. We don't have anything figured out, but just being able to put yourself out there and trying to reach out to people, and hopefully somebody can take something away from this, learn from it, and, just grow as a person. So,
Hell yeah, man. I think we don't have it figured out. We don't have the most money in the bank. We don't have everything, planned out for life. But I think some of the journeys that we've been through to get us to where we are and the mindset we have will add value to someone. And
yeah.
I always say, shit, we'll get 5 downloads on these at first, but we affect one person. That's a positive. That's a win. And we just want to be able to help out anyone in any way we can. So, today we're really focusing on more chasing happiness rather than chasing a paycheck, I think is the biggest thing. For me, that was taught to me and instilled in my head from a young age. Shit, my dad did it. I think that's why they supported me to do what I did to get here. And he still tells me that to this day. He's like, I may bitch sometimes about going to work, but I didn't work a day in my life. And he was broke. He was working at a farm. He was pumping gas, trying to save up to go to flight school. You know, Helicopter pilots in 1980s didn't pay shit at first. Now they're everywhere. But he had to grind through it, and he always equated it to what we're doing. You know.
I think, and I'm in a similar situation. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was brought up in a, above average, I guess, family. I never really had to worry about finances. We never, were struggling in terms of that early on as a young kid when my parents owned a small business. So like early on, it was cool to see as I got older, the progression of that business and see it really grow, them opening another business to supplement the one that they had, with the laws changing there in the beer business. So, in Pennsylvania, the laws are constantly changing. So to combat that and then, being able to consolidate it back into one store, expand the store, really, allowed me to chase a dream, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I have to give credit to them. They, really backed me in everything I did. They never told me no, that's a bad idea. If I really wanted to do it, I was able to do it. So having that backing, but at the same time, it always ate at me that I had to rely on them. You know what I mean? I would always say, hey, do you need any money? No, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like I had a hard time in my brain, like accepting things from them because I knew where they came from and what they created. So I wanted to be able to do that. You know what I mean? And they're the same way. My dad worked at a beef jerky plant, Nels's beef. And he did that for a few years. He worked at a tile and he just, he's like, I can't be this person. I'm not going to be this person that just goes to work, clocks in, clocks out every day. So seeing that really, I think was a big,
I think them going through it together probably, that obviously you seeing them do it, but B, they wanted to provide for you. As bad as you felt, they probably liked nothing more because they chased their dream than giving you whatever they gave you to help you out to be able to follow yours. Instead of being like, oh, you're 18 or you graduated college, you're done, cut off, go figure it out.
Yeah, and I think that comes from their background too. Like, they didn't have anything growing up. Their parents made ends meet and did the best they could for them. So I think that helped push them to the point where, like, no, I don't want my kid to grow up like that. You know what I mean? We've had these conversations where they tell me that all the time. We didn't want you. We wanted you guys to have options growing up. and that's going to be something I take for the rest of my life is, making sure whenever I have an offspring is to, provide the same thing for them. So that, obviously pushes me every day, but, that it just the way you're brought up and the values that you have, I think take you a long way.
Yeah, I think in a way when you finally become, for some people, for our upbringing, yes, a lot of people know. I think in a way when you become officially like fully cut off, living on your own, I think in a way it kind of makes them sad. It's like you
Oh
finally
my God. Yeah.
a
Like
baby, they like nothing more than being like, hey Eric, go check your account, there's $200 in it.
every time my mom's always calling me, hey, when are you coming home next? When the quarantine hit, like, you're always welcome here. You can stay here. We got plenty of space. And at the time, I had my little brother, my sister, and her boyfriend were both living at the house waiting to move into their apartment. And then she wanted me to come back. I'm like, are you sure? Like, that's a lot of, things to take care of. And she's like, of course. Yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah, man.
and that's something to be able to notice, and having the awareness to be able to notice that and be like, wow, like they're really, giving up a lot to be able to provide for you.
Oh yeah. But we keep mentioning it and what we've done. For a lot of people, they'll see us on Instagram or whatever. They they're on ESPN. They see big time strength coaches or people in our field, and there's a lot of different fields like this. This is just the one, but a lot of people have the same journey in something else. Like I said, my father. But what we do, you know, let's kind of dive into it. We're strength coaches, right? Different sectors, but strength coaches. We both came up through the same pipeline essentially. We're a different breed because until you make it to Alabama, big schools, I mean, you're not driving around in freaking,
No,
Bentley.
you ain't making shit. You ain't
Yeah.
making shit. You ain't making shit. So for me, like, I started right out of college. I volunteer intern at the school I graduated from, Bloomsburg, and then I volunteered again at Villanova University for a summer. Thankfully enough, I was able to earn a paid position, a part-time paid position. It was $1,000 a month, and that's where I first met you. And you did the same exact thing. Did a volunteer intern, earned a paid position as well, which then we kind of ran with it, and we're able to be at the right place, right time. Got to run the whole department for however long that was, which was a hell of an experience to do at 22, 23 years old. you know, Running a Division I football program was something. Looking back is like, I can't believe I did that. Thinking, but at the time I didn't know any different. I was like, this is the position I'm in. I got to kill it. Like, I have to do it. You know what I mean? You just got to roll with it. And then even after that, so you become, in your brain, you become like, okay, I just ran this. I got big things coming. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting the next step. And then
Hard for you to step back from that.
yeah, it was like I moved on to ULM, University of Louisiana Monroe, as a GA, and you're in grad school, you get a monthly stipend, um, and I had way less responsibility. So at first it was tough. Like, I was used to having to do everything. There, I had responsibility, but I had a couple teams that I ran. I did minimal stuff with football, just kind of was on the floor coaching. But after that, I did a year there, and then had the opportunity to kind of be the head at Millersville, but that was only $9,000 job. It was considered quarter time job, where you are the head strength conditioning coach for a football team, and you get $9,000 a year,
which is like 90 hours a week.
Yeah.
What would you say
So, like,
for the average of your jobs if you broke it down hourly?
I mean, I don't even know what it would be, but it's something. If you were to say, like, I say this to people all the time. People ask me, like, so, like, what do you do? Strength conditioning. And somebody who doesn't know athletics or anything, but what is that? You know what I mean? If I were to tell them exactly what I do for the amount of money that I did, like, okay, I work like 6 to 6, on average, sometimes later, 7 days a week during football season. And I make $1,500 a month. They'd be like, what? Why would you do that? That doesn't
Dude,
even make any sense. Why
that's
would you
what I'm
do
saying.
that? You know what I mean?
Remember, we're at
Yeah.
Nova and we're waking up at 3:30 to get there at 4:30 when we were in charge of everything. So we'd have everything with football. You're also doing equipment. You're putting the GPS in there. You're running the smoothie, the snacks. You're making the weight room. You're in charge of the interns. You're running your teams. Then you have your other teams, baseball, track, whatever. Then you have to sit back and program. Then you have your night people come in, and you got to train. You have to prepare for the next day. And I'm like, how much were we making doing that? No, and for me, again, I say that that's what we want to talk about. It's not about the money for me. It's just in your genes. If you want to be a coach, it's in your genetic makeup. It is. Same thing when I was a GA at Misericordia, prepared me for everything, because like, fuck, an 8-hour work day for probably 3 times what we were making doing all that shit is like, how is that? How can you even just justify that? You know, I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm stealing money from people.
Yeah.
But
I
it's
was just coming up. I didn't have a path that I wanted to go. Coming out of high school, I barely even went to college. I was like, I got injured. I had a neck injury coming out of, my junior year. So I wasn't playing college sports, just wasn't in the hand. I would have loved to. I wasn't any that good either. I would have played Division 3, you know what I mean, if I wanted to, but like I wasn't able to. It wasn't in the cards with, the injury that I had. So I kind of went off the rails a little bit, was like, you know what, screw it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I applied to college super late, was like, took the last SAT possible, went through college, didn't really have a plan. And I just love training. That's what got me to the point, where in sports that I could compete. I wasn't super athletic, so I had to train to be able to be good. That was always an interest of mine. Sports was always an interest of mine. So it was never about finding a job. It was about like, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? It wasn't about like, I want to do this to make X amount of money. It was, what can I see myself doing? Because the saying of like, if you work a day in your life, if you never work a day in your life, then you found the right job, I think is so true, because I never pictured work as work. It was just something that I did because that's what I do. Like
when
that's,
the long hours come, you're just tired. You're not sick of
yeah,
work. It's just like, oh, and I don't think I've ever heard you say in all our time together, I mean, we always kept in touch. I mean, we were always FaceTime when you were in Louisiana, everywhere. I've never heard you say, like, fuck, dude, I got to go to work tomorrow. And dude, I have friends that make probably, well over 6 figures to say that every goddamn Sunday.
when
Right?
people, I had a family friend of mine over on a Sunday one time, and I'll never forget it. We're sitting there, and he's like, "Damn, I got work tomorrow," and I'm like, it like clicked for me. I'm like, I never say that. Like, yeah, like you're like, oh, I gotta wake up. Like, I gotta get up at 4. But I'm like, I'm thinking about like what I have to do rather than dreading the fact that I have to go do it. You know
You
what I
want to know
mean?
a way I equate it? And what I always do, I'm a big like math equation type guy. Make everything simple, right? For most people, they don't work just 9 to 5 with the travel and everything you're doing. You're probably not home 7, but say 5 o'clock, right? Is your 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. or whatever, and your weekends worth all the time that you're miserable the other 40 hours of the week? Is what you're doing and what you can buy during those times worth? Because if you're working and you hate your fucking job, and you were going, by the time you wake up, shower, travel is probably 7:30 to realistically 6 p.m. If you hate your shit so bad during those times, is the weekend worth it? What you can
Yeah.
buy, where you can, is it? Fuck no, then I say. Hell
And I'll tell you what, too, kind of going along with that is like, I always, and we were spoiled at Villanova. Like, we had a great crew of people where we were like best friends. We got along with each other. Every day at work was a blast. Like we got along so well, clicked. Everybody was clicking on all cylinders. And you go other places and it's not like that. Like I've been other places where the staff dynamic was not like that. And that can go to any job where you're like, when you're not working with people that you enjoy or you don't enjoy being in the environment that you're in, it's so taxing. Like it can be so exhausting on you, and it can change you as a person where like your whole mindset changes just because of the environment you're in
yeah.
at your workplace.
So true.
I think, even if you're unhappy in the job you're in, regardless of what it is, even if it's not coaching, like you got to find a way to get out of it and find a different environment, because it's going to be, you're going to, in the long run, it's going to pay off, because you're going to find yourself becoming, so negative and looking at everything in a bad perspective just because of the environment that you're constantly placed in and the people that you're around.
And I think so much of that becomes the unfulfillment, right? You're not fulfilling your emotional needs, right? So Michael Chernikowski always says, live with a purpose to serve a purpose. Whatever your purpose is, right? If you were punching, this is just my opinion, again, would I like to make $500,000 a year working 9 to 5? 100%, it would be phenomenal. But I've had a job, like I left doing what we're doing to go take a normal job. And it's just, it's no matter how much shit, in my opinion, you can buy, no matter how much many trips you can go on, if you're not feeling fulfilled at the end of every day, like you're not working towards something, it's just clock in, clock out. There's no enjoyment, there's no satisfaction or fulfillment out of it. Then you're always going to be chasing something else, and you're never really going to enjoy the moment you're in. You're not even going to be enjoying the moments with your family if you're not fulfilled with something. You know,
Yeah.
for some people, doing that and being able to spend time with their kids and eat dinner with them every night at 5 and having the weekends and that's it. It's a sacrifice I want to make. My brain is not wired like that, and I need constantly be trying to grow or move forward to something else. I don't know how to do the downtime well, and it is actually a downfall. But being a coach in the collegiate realm made me that way from the jump.
Yeah.
Like, you always find shit to do. Like,
Yeah. And I think like going along with that and getting involved with this, with the whole no windy sleeves thing, like it was something for me to do in my free time because that's what I enjoy doing. And it was a productive thing to do. Like you always you can find time to do the other things that you enjoy, go golf and go fishing, whatever it is. Like that doesn't have to be your escape all the time, drinking beers, whatever it might be. If you can find something else outside of work, even if it's, a separate company or whatever it is, multiple streams of revenue is huge, especially when you're not making a ton of money. That can go a long way. So, and this goes hand in hand with my job. So like,
but
or
you
my day
like
job.
doing it, right? And that goes back to it. This people get paid to do what we're doing right now. A lot of money in some cases, right? We sit here on Zooms and almost nightly till 10, 11 o'clock, right? It doesn't feel like work. I don't dread it. I look forward to getting home and sitting at my desk and getting on the Zoom with you guys and figuring out how to A, grow this company, but B, make a difference, right? It's because we like it, it's not work. And that goes the same thing that we do when we wake up every morning, you know?
And I'll tell you, when you told me that, because that was early on in my career, you had been in coaching longer than I had when I first met you. You had been through the whole thing at Misericordia and went to Comcast and did your thing and then left. And when you told me that, how much, you were making and how miserable you were doing it, I was like, okay, well, that was kind of reassuring for me. Like, because at the time I was like, I don't know if this is what I want to do. I'm just kind of rolling with the punches here. I'm just seizing the opportunities that I was given. And, that was pretty reassuring when you hear that stuff. It's like, all right, well, yeah, this is kind of, I feel the same way. I don't want to be in that situation. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing.
I think my parents, like, were so, like, they just let me go do the Comcast thing because they knew. They're like, this is going to help him in the long run. It's going to make him learn and realize what we always told him about, chasing your dream and not a paycheck, because they always said that to me. And when I was like, I'm quitting coaching, I'm going to take a job just to make money, I want to buy a house with Ashley, blah, blah, blah. They're like, yeah, go ahead. They were like, maybe he needs that to learn on his own instead of from us, but he will, and he'll be back. I went to college. I graduated with a criminal justice degree, and I wanted to go down and do customs and border protection. The whole thing. I started the application junior year, went through all the way, got my polygraph, my physical fitness, got accepted, was waiting essentially for a placement of where to go. So while I was waiting, I was working landscape. So I took a couple of weeks off, went down to Misericordia, helped out in fall ball. My coach was like, you belong in coaching. You're charismatic, whatever. It's like, you belong in coaching. Would you be open to doing a volunteer year and then be my grad assistant for 2 years, go back to school for free, get a master's? If you told me I was getting a master's when I was in high school, I would have told you were high. Not a school guy. I went and did that. And my plan was always get my master's, go back and do customs border protection. I fell in love with coaching. I was coaching baseball. And being a grad assistant, is you're the bitch. You do everything, anything and everything. 90, 100 hours a week for a stipend and a degree. That like embeds in your body that now anywhere I go, that's the only thing I know. There's always something that can be done to improve. And I got burnt out hard at the end of it. And I was like seeing my friends, it was at the time everyone was graduating, making money, buying cars, getting houses with their girls, vacations. I couldn't do it. I was just like, fuck it. Believe it. I went and I sold cable door to door with my brother for like 6 or 7 months. Made great money. Living in a place, my rent was $230 a month, right? I'm buying dogs, Harleys, tattoos, like bunch of shit. And like 6 months in, I was just like, I would come home no matter how much shit I bought, I was I was fucking miserable. It was a really big breaking point in my life. Big. And my mom drove down. She was just like, from New Hampshire, because I was so messed up. She was like, just fucking quit. Go do what you love. And they helped me. They supported me. And I got back into coaching. And I realized when I was coaching baseball that I just loved training kids. I like training kids more than I like coaching baseball. And then when I was 26 years old. I took a volunteer internship at Cincinnati with no strength conditioning. It was embarrassing, kind of. All my friends just got their masters and buying a bunch of shit, and I'm making $0, literally mopping floors at University of Cincinnati. Best decision, best opportunity I ever had in my entire life to do that. Changed everything. Led me to went back.
Yeah, and thinking about that, some people thrive off that Comcast type gig. Some people love that, where it's like that's the reward for them. Like, I'm making, you know what I mean? Like, that's what they're about. And power to it. If that's what makes you happy and that's what you're about, all power to you. Go do it. Go kill it. You know what I mean? That can be a thrill. Like, chasing the next sign. Like, oh, I made this many signs today. I made this many signups, this week. Like, that can be a thrill for anybody if that's what you're into and that's what you're about. This is going to set me up to be able to get this in life. This is going to be set me up to do this in life. Like, and as long as it has a plan to it and you have like aspirations to do bigger things, what you're doing, I think the biggest mistake you can make is, doing something where you don't have that, where you're like, you feel that you're stuck and you're just, like you said, clocking in, clocking out. You have no way to move up or you have no way to gain any more than what you're doing. So I think no matter what you're doing, if there's ways to grow or ways to advance yourself within whatever workplace you're in or whatever field that you're in, that's what's going to cause that happiness or that drive or that motivation to do what you do every day.
Hell yeah. It's never too late to change your life. That's a big thing. It takes a leap of faith, though, because I've seen other people go through it now and make the leap of faith and are so much happier. There's people, they decide to go back to school when they're 45. Fuck yeah. That gives me juice. It's never too late. And I made that decision. People are like, you're moving 10 hours away from your girlfriend that you want to propose to? Yeah, it was right. And then it led me to Nova, which did a volunteer internship with you, like you said, and then we worked up to a paid spot, which was shit, working 90, 100 hours a week still. Led me to the opportunity here at Fast Switch, which I don't think people realize what starting a gym with 0 people and trying to build it out take. That was the same thing. And when I first got here, we had no clients, and I thought I left to come take a cushiony private job. I fucking proposed to my girlfriend. I had to start saving for a wedding. I wasn't making money. There was no one in the gym. I delivered pizza for Domino's for like 2 months until Doc found out, and he was like, don't do that. We'll do this together. And I started working upstairs for him. But that's what it took. But I was so happy with what I was doing there during the day. For me and my brand, that was just like, that's what you had to do as a man, right? I'm not gonna ask people for shit, but as a man, I went home every night at 7:30 p.m., put my fucking Domino's visor on, my polo in front of Ashley, gave her a kiss, and went and did that. Came back at 2 o'clock, woke up at 6 the next morning. But I was so happy with the gym shit that I didn't care,
Yeah.
But now it's led to everything else,
Yeah. And I think, for me personally, like in 5 years, am I going to love what I'm doing still? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I want to go do something completely different, get out of the college coaching field. I think it will always be in something along these lines. You know what I mean? But is it going to be in, college strength conditioning? I don't know. I think it just always has to depend on what your life currently is like and what you're about, what your family's doing. You have to always make those decisions depending upon where you're at currently and where you see yourself in the next 5-10 years. So for me right now, I'm loving what I do and I want to keep doing it, but to say that's not going to end and my mindset's not going to change to try to chase something else, very well could be. And I'll make that decision when that, has to come. But
everyone's situation and position in life is different. So your path to it's going to be different. If you were to, knock on wood, pop out a kid next month, you might not be able to do what you're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, exactly. There's people in different situations that have to take different paths. We were fortunate that we had parents that supported us to do it. It's led us here and said, we're not where we want to be, but I'll tell you what, I've turned down, since I've gotten here, multiple other jobs making quite a bit more than I make here. I'll do it every freaking day because I am so happy with what I do, it's a one of the things I'm willing to give up because I'd rather. Ashley says it every day. She's like, you love what you do so much that working 12, 14 hours a day is nothing. I can't picture you being happy going and doing that. And that would affect us, you know,
Yeah.
like
And,
that.
kind of reflecting on the last 4 years being at, Blue Note, 5 different schools, you know, bouncing around the country a little bit. I made a big decision early on, like, you know, do I want to, when I was in college still, like, do I want to, chase that? Because I knew you're going to have to move around. And I was like, I'm 24. I don't have any kids. Why not? Why not go try it? Right. And that led me to so many, like thinking back on all the cool things that I was able to do by making that decision was huge. Cause like the amount of stories that I have, the amount of experiences that I've had in just 4 years of doing it. Like, I can't believe it's only been 4 years. Like, it feels like a decade. Like, it
Yeah.
literally feels like a decade. I've been doing this for a decade and I haven't.
Remember all
Like,
the
I'm still
shit?
so young in it.
Remember all the
And
shit you used to give me?
I know.
And now I think you're my age when I was a Nova. How old are you?
Yeah. I'll be 27 in a couple
Oh,
months.
you're getting old, little Ricky. I remember you just a young pup. But every day I'd come in and Rick be like, dude, let's have some beers tonight, whatever. I'm like, dude, I'm 27 years old. I can't be shotgunning beers with you at Georgie's Lane. You're like, dude, we're in the same spot here. And in my head, this was a terrible mindset on my end. You know what I'm saying? Like, who gives a shit if I'm 27, you're 23? I'm happy as shit doing what we're doing. It's like the societal pressure. When I stopped with that shit, was when I became the happiest I've ever been. And I wish I had that when I was living with you. Well, I kind of don't, because I feel like we would have gotten into some probably big trouble or some deep shit. But I wish I had that mindset, because I think I would have been. I enjoyed my time there more than anything, but I think I would have had a different perspective on it at that time. They always say you don't know the good old days till they're the good old days. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would do anything. I wouldn't change my life right now, but to be living in Georgie's Lane with you, with no responsibilities, coaching, having some drinks, like it's a perspective and that pressure that you get. I wish I didn't have it, but that's the shit that
Yeah.
people put on themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
It's a
I
fucking
think
life checklist.
I said this the other day on one of the calls, and was like, my personality, like you said, I'm always like kind of happy and just, bouncing around doing my thing. Like, I got a lot of fuck it, to a point where it almost too much, where like it gets me into trouble sometimes. Like, situation pops out and I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, that has its downfalls at times, but it's led me to so many great things, and put me in a lot of situations that went for the better,
You
and taking
also
that
can say
risk.
fuck it, because you know the type of person you are. You're gonna, whatever consequences you're gonna fix, and you're gonna live with, but you're gonna fix them after. I think that's a big thing. That's what the corona and all this shit going on has taught me. Ashley and I had a conversation about it last week. Nothing's promised tomorrow. I need to say fuck it more, because I know the type of person I am. I need to enjoy it, because I know I'll be able to fix whatever the fuck is going on, whatever I messed up. But enjoy the moment more and stop always waiting for the perfect opportunity to do something. Right? Ashley and I, we were like, oh, we'll have kids in a couple of years, and because we're not 100% where we want to be or ready yet. A couple of years from now, we would say the same thing. Same thing.
Yeah.
Just started looking at houses, because I'm like, nothing is guaranteed. Let's start living our life and creating the life we want right now. And if something happens in a year that we shouldn't have bought the house, we will deal with it then. But we'll get through it, like we're getting through the virus, like we're getting through all this other shit. We're gonna have the baby. It's like, I think fuck it, if you can back it up, is a really good thing to have. And this whole virus has taught me, probably spending more time with you. Shit. It's taught me to have a little bit more of that, to enjoy the now a little bit more and create those opportunities.
Yeah, because my outlook on it is like, what really do you have to lose? Like, obviously you have to make calculated decisions. Like, you can't just go all willy nilly. But like, like you have to make calculated decisions at some point. But if you have an end goal in mind and the pros outweigh the cons, why not? What do you got to lose?
I like 100%. And that goes I think that stems from the path that you've taken and that I've taken, and people and entrepreneurs especially, like shit like that, have taken, because smaller the risk, usually the smaller the reward. So the big risk of having to fight through for maybe another 4 years of bouncing around. Sweet, that 5th year when you get that awesome job that you're going to be at forever and it's all this, like, that's a big reward for the big risk that
Oh
you're
yeah.
doing it. And I think
Yeah.
that's what people miss.
Yeah. And I think like I've always said, like, I'm not going to change the kind of person I am for the setting I'm in. Like, yeah, you have to be professional when you have to be professional. You have to be, you can loosen up when you're, with your buddies or whatever, but like, just be the person you are and people will enjoy that more than anything else. Like, people sniff bullshit so easily, especially in today's world. Like, people are looking for bullshit more than anything else.
And they might not
So
tell you, but they're going to leave the room. They're going to be like, this fucking dude.
yeah. And knowing that like people are talking about you regardless. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we just live in a judgmental world. That's how humans are. You know what I mean? They judge you the first time the way you walk in, the way you walk into the room, you're getting judged. So just knowing that, and always having that in the back of your mind, be like, they're talking about me, they're thinking about me, they're evaluating me every single second that they're talking to me. Everybody's making an evaluation on you, So like, why try to act like something you're not? Just be like, I'm a goofy guy. I'll admit it. I'm a quirky dude. I do weird things, but
For
that's who I am.
sure.
I own it. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
in the
How
weight room,
small is your circle? How small is your circle of actual people that give a shit, right? So if you're happy, like, it's so cliche to say, but like, who gives a shit? Because those people, you really don't have an effect or an impact on your life. So go back to like work or whatever. If you're happy what you're doing and it's not what other people think is good, who gives a shit? Because your small circle fucking respects it and loves you for it.
yeah, and it only gets smaller as life goes on.
I'm
People come and
shocked that we
go.
kept in touch after Nova.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
I'm just kidding. I
people
knew,
come and go,
I knew
and
when we moved in, we'd be there.
what's that?
I knew once we moved in together, we were fucking lifers.
Yeah,
Went through too much crap in that house, But
but like, just knowing that that you have that circle, and the people that are going to be there are always going to be there, and the people that you come in contact with throughout life that you're want to be around more often, or that you want to stay in contact with, you will, like, just out of like pure nature, just out of subconscious, like, you'll always reach out to those people always reach out to you. You know what I mean? The people that you didn't really maybe connect with the best, or that you didn't relate to the most, they'll just eventually wash away, and you'll just kind of maybe not forget about them. Yeah, they were a good person, whatever, but they're just never going to be in your circle, and that it is what it is. They're
why
just
waste your time trying to impress them? I always say
yeah,
people are like, what do you mean you don't? Like, you like nice things. You get your haircut once a week, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I do that shit for myself. I like nice shit. I like having a haircut. I don't do it for other people. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in making a good first impression on anyone, because I think it's a good thing to do. And I think you can only make a first impression twice. I don't buy the shit that I have. I don't get my haircuts for other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do it because I like it, but that stems from realizing how something came to me probably like 2 years ago that just made me realize how small your circle is, that how influential those people are in your life, and those are the people you should put your time and energy into, not fucking social media, not how many likes you get from throwing a flex up, right? It's about the people that are actually emotionally and invested in your life and you care about. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I care about helping people and I want to help people. But if someone doesn't like me because of my woe, or I get made fun of for it, or whatever, like, I wish that you had a different mindset and you didn't judge. But at the same time, I'd rather put my energy and effort into people that believe in me and believe in what we're doing.
yeah. I mean, the same thing for me. Like, when you reached out to me to come on board, you know, it was, for me, it was more of like, I was never a big social media guy. You know what I mean? That's like kind of the way we're doing it. And that's like the world we live in. Like, that's how you have to do things. And, I just never paid attention to it. But when you reached out to me and, you asked me kind of, put stuff out for athletes, that kind of stuff, I was like, all right, yeah, I'll do that. But it was mainly because you had a vision to do something to, in the end, help people, make a difference in people's lives. I did it to, be a part of something that you were growing. It wasn't to be like, oh, I want to go, become this social media mogul and, like,
Yeah.
get, sponsored and all that stuff. That never crossed my mind. You know what I mean? It was more of like, oh, Tut's got a cool vision going on. Like, I want to be a part of that. You know, wasn't really anything else outside of that. It was, he's got something cool going on. And, I want to be a part of his vision, and I want to be a part of, get back and involved in his life, and, be able to move on from there.
Dude, the whole No Windy Sleeves thing I don't say rekindle like we were dating or something, but like, you do lose touch with people. We were talking probably once a month, but now I literally, days that you don't FaceTime me, I text you and ask you if everything's all right. Like that's how much we talk now. And different things obviously build a different relationships. But I say like this, No Windy Sleeves, the movement of putting yourself out there, and like perfect example. At first it's hard to put yourself out there because you're like, all these people follow me, they're going to be judging me what I'm doing now. And then like something clicks and you're like, I'll put out bloopers, I'll put out whatever, because the people that are actually going to care about me are going to enjoy it, right? Those other 500 followers that I have that just follow me for whatever, that don't know me or believe in me or like my vision, okay, scroll past it.
Yeah.
But that's a big jump too.
Yeah.
Making that commitment, I think so much of it, but I say that relationships that we've rekindled and the people that we've affected, and brought back together. Look, we hang out with Wit now. Again, we talked to Wit. We lost touch with Wit. There's so many other people that we're bringing together and affecting now through this that I think is freaking awesome. Not to get too off subject on it, but you know what I'm saying. I think there's so much to learn from that, and we're building relationships from putting ourselves out there and not caring what people are thinking and chasing our happiness. My happiness is helping people. That has brought me so many new relationships. People have reached out to me. I talk to them every day now. Either I train them or they want tip, whatever, every day.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that whole part of it is what really drives me, or kind of why I'm on the path I'm in, because like that is what coaching really is. It's you're in it because you enjoy seeing people develop. I was always like that, even in like relationships. Like if like my girlfriend wanted to be like, hey, what do you want to do for dinner today? I don't care, whatever you want to do, and like they hate that, but like that's how I am, because I don't really care as long as you're happy. Like that's what I want, to do.
Well, I think that's what a lot of coaching is in everything, coaching, personal training, whatever.
Yeah.
It's not, dude, there's people that love lifting more than we do who are accountants, right? We just like helping people hands-on get to where they want to be. And I always say we just use training as a tool to develop people for life and help people in their life situations. That's why I like it. I coach baseball. I coached in the college. Now I coach one-on-one people, athletes, 80-year-olds, everyone, right? I just like helping people, and coaching is just the most accessible tool for me to do that.
Yeah. And like at an early age, my coaches I always seemed like the coach in the field or whatever, I was always like in tune with the sport and, being kind of a brain on the field. So like, I was always looked at as like, if you didn't know what to do, ask Eric, ask Jones, he'll know what to do, like that kind of thing. So I think subconsciously that kind of led me into the field that I was in. And, the reward that you get from, like, for example, in college, like seeing a, female athlete who has never trained a day in her life be able to do her first chin up is like one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah.
Like the when they're like, oh my God, I finally did it. I didn't think I'd ever be able to do that.
And
like that's cooler to me
from a numbers or a strength perspective, from everything that goes into it.
No, yeah, that's cooler to me than like seeing somebody hit a 500-pound squat. That's obviously still cool, but seeing somebody do something that they never thought they'd ever be able to do is like one of the most rewarding things ever. And that can be in any field.
Is that why you've chased this passion? Is that why you've sacrificed going and helping your parents open another place and work there, or go do whatever? Is that why? Because you like helping people, and that's a sacrifice,
Yeah, because at the end of and I don't even think I think it goes deeper than that. Like, that's what makes me happy at work. Like that's what makes my day easier. That's what I enjoy. So why not keep doing that? Why try to change things?
I tell people that, my boys, right? No Windy Sleeves, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude, you guys are killing it. I'm just feeding your bank account every time I buy a shirt. I'm like, dude, we don't make $1. take $1 from No Windy Sleeves, right? We just are building it because we love to do it, because we love to help people. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, any business you start, you want to make millions, right? Call it a millionaire byproduct. That's just a byproduct of us actually doing what we want to do because we enjoy doing it. If I don't make $1 off, if I can't pull $1 out of the No Windy Sleeves bank account for the rest of my life, but it keeps getting the traction and more people are getting help, that we're getting the results and hearing people on the Zoom calls talk about how much they benefit from it for the next 20 years, I will continue to put this much effort into making it the best and most viable platform for people to grow and improve themselves every day because I enjoy doing it. You know, sorry, I'm fired up. My freaking neck veins.
You know, and like, I don't want to come on here and, you know, sound like we're like these righteous people that like, oh, we're like prophets that are going to change your life for the better. You know,
Definitely
like
that.
and, you know, my friends on here that are going to listen to this, they're going to be like, what the hell is Jones talking about? You know, like he's done some fucked up shit in his life, you know, like everybody does that stuff. But, you know, the at the end of the day, it comes down to what you enjoy doing. And if it's going door to door, selling cable and making that X amount of money each week to be able to build on that and create a life for yourself, power to you. That's what makes you happy, man.
Yeah.
All about it. You know what I mean? I support it.
Finding what makes you happy. And again, like you said, we're not getting on here saying we make $0 and, you know, we're just living freely. You need to live money. You need to make money. It's just about trying to capitalize on in an area that makes you happy to be able to do the same thing. And in our downtime, doing stuff that makes us happy, not for money. You know, I want to pay bills. I want to buy a house in freaking Bergen County, New Jersey. The mortgage doesn't get paid off hopes and dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think it goes back to the pros and cons. Like you said, you know, is buying a car or a house or being able to go on a vacation with your boys, whatever it is, outweigh your work day, your 9 to 5. You know, for some people, yeah, 100%. And there may come a time in my life where that does outweigh, and I just want to, you know, sit back, clock in, clock out. I'm done. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? I don't think I'll ever stop, you know, not wanting to, you know, influence other people, because that's, like I said, I think it's one of the most rewarding things. It's in my DNA. But at the same time, you know, it's like whatever you want to get out of your life has to be the priority, or, you know, has to be what your motivating factor is. So if those vacations and that car and that house is what motivates you and makes you you know, want to come home at the end of the day, then yeah, you know what I mean? That's fine. Do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It doesn't, as Gary Vee always says, your 9 to 5s pay the bills, man. Your 5 to midnight pays your dreams. You know, so if you are stuck or whatever, like, it's never too late. Like, there is time. You can start to do something that you want to do. That looks nice. What do you got in there?
I have cranberry and orange juice, pure cranberry orange juice. Maybe a little spike action for this conversation here. You know, get the juices flowing.
All right. But yeah,
and a little nightcap. You know what I'm saying?
That's a bit. I need a nightcap. I got to make my beef still, but I think that's the biggest thing we wanted to really get across today, and kind of just use our journeys, I guess, as a example of how two people did it. And I don't want to say did it like we did it, we made it. How people are doing it still to this day. We'll continue to do it, but chasing happiness before chasing a paycheck. And yes, I do understand people got to pay bills, but I'm a firm believer you can make it work to chase happiness before chasing a paycheck.
Yeah, like I'll say now, like I'm an assistant strength conditioning coach making way less, you know, sub $50,000 a year, you know, at 27 years old. I have a lot of friends that are making twice as much money as me. You know what I mean? Are they happy in their lives? Maybe, but I'm happy with what I'm doing and I enjoy what I'm doing and I want to progress. So why change? Like, why try to do something else? If you enjoy exactly what you're doing and you want to progress in life and you want to progress in your career, you know, that's what you want to do. Who cares? Like, who cares? Like, you know, that's what really.
You're happy. That's the fucking main goal in life.
Yeah, and you're not a dick. Like you're not like being, you know. And I was at one point in my life, you know, I kind of was the selfish guy at some points, but like, it comes to a point where you got to figure out where you want to go and what's going to get you there and double down on that stuff. Like
Bet on yourself, bro.
Yeah, I've worked, multiple different jobs across the country that have paid $0 to, $1,000 a month. And I wouldn't change it for the world because it gave me so many different experiences and gave me so many different avenues in life to go. And I hope that it keeps going because it's fucking fun, man. It's fucking fun.
That's it, baby. I love it, man. Well, Rick, thanks for popping on. As always, Coach Eric Jones, a.k.a. Motherfucker Jones. You got to earn it to meet Motherfucker Jones. But appreciate you guys. Coach Tut signing out. We'll talk to you guys next week. A year. Whoa!